Hello and welcome. The purpose of this course is to review the NCAA's Basketball Certification Non-Scholastic Events Program and the rules surrounding schedule limitations, financial transparency, deadlines and other requirements. At NCAA-certified events, athletically related activities are precluded prior to 8 a.m. and the last athletically related activity may not begin later than 10 p.m. During the academic year, it is not permissible for any part of an NCAA-certified men's basketball event to operate prior to 6 p.m. on the first day of the open period or after 4 p.m. on the last day of the open period to encourage minimal missed class time and academic commitments. NCAA coaches may enter the event facilities and purchase packets prior to 6 p.m. on Friday, but any activity involving the athletes, games, warm-ups, check-in and registration involving the prospect, etc., would be prohibited until after 6 p.m. In compliance with the USAB NBA Youth Guidelines, a prospective student-athlete may participate in no more than 2 games on any one day and no more than 14 hours of athletically related activities in 1 week. In addition, the requirements outlined in the USAB NBA Youth Guidelines should be considered by event operators and non-scholastic coaches as best practices. Coaches: if an operator schedules your team to play 3 games in 1 day, a coach for the team will need to notify the operator that your team cannot play 3 games. If the operator does not modify the schedule, then a coach from the team will need to notify ECAG staff by calling 844-562-6201 option 2 then option 1. ECAG staff will then reach out to the operator regarding the schedule. If the team is threatened with a forfeit and a coach is not able to reach ECAG staff in time for us to contact the operator, the team may play the 3rd game if and only if a coach has emailed ECAG@ncaa.org prior to the team's participation in the 3rd game. The coach will need to include the event operator on the email and state it is a violation for the team to play the 3rd game, but the operator has indicated the team must play or forfeit. If the team follows these procedures, they will not be penalized for the schedule violation. Beginning in 2019, all operators and teams agreed to be financially transparent in the BBCS. Operators must submit a post-event review form for each NCAA-certified event they run. Each perf requires the following disclosures: revenues, expenditures, and staffing expenditures. For teams, each coach who creates a roster will submit financial disclosures through the BBCS after participating in all NCAA-certified events for the year. If you are an assistant coach, you will not need to submit. The team financial disclosures ask for information to be provided regarding fees received from participants, fundraisers, sponsor funding and/or in-kind donations, the total cost associated with participating in events, event entry fees paid, compensation paid to staff, expenses paid for transportation, meals, lodging, insurance, etc. Additionally, you are asked to disclose any financial relationship between any coach or individual associated with a team and any of the following: higher education institutions or representatives of higher education institutions, boosters of higher education institution, and/or any agent, runner or representative of an agent. The deadline to submit the financial disclosures is August 31st. Operators must submit applications at least 30 days prior to the start date of their event. Any significant changes, name of the event, headquarter location change, dates of the event, packet price, or participant entry fees, etc., or cancellations made by an operator post-approval must be reported to ECAG via the request change or cancellation feature in the BBCS no later than 48 hours prior to the scheduled start of the event. Failure to report changes by the deadline may render the event ineligible for approval in the same season the following year. It is not permissible for an event operator to claim NCAA certification when advertising, website, brochures, application, etc., until that is a factual statement. Past NCAA certification or approval does not guarantee certification the following year, so, it is prohibited to reference previous certification as assurance that an event will or is likely to be certified in the current application period. It would be permissible to communicate that NCAA certification/approval is pending once an application has been successfully submitted, but not before. An operator must complete and submit the information requested in the post-event review form within 2 months of the date of the last certified event date. The specific deadline will be visible in the Respond by Date column on the Event Applications tab in the BBCS and will appear in the Respond by Date column of an approved event application. failure to submit the required information by the appropriate deadline will result in the denial of the post-event review form, rendering the event ineligible for certification during the same season the following year. By participating in the certification and approval process and using the BBCS, all adult participants are voluntarily agreeing to NCAA terms and accepting responsibility for compliance with all NCAA legislation, ECAG policies and procedures, operating procedures, requirements and guidelines. Additionally, all adult participants agree to an affirmative obligation to provide complete, truthful and accurate information when engaging with the NCAA in any way. This includes, but is not limited to, responding to inquiries in a timely manner, cooperating fully with the NCAA and assisting the NCAA with any investigation regarding possible NCAA rules violations, even if the violations are unrelated to ECAG certification and/or approval. False representation of NCAA certification or approval or the provision of false and misleading information in order to circumvent NCAA legislation and requirements is subject to adverse actions and/or penalties, which the participant agrees to submit to in the BBCS. The presumed minimum penalty is withdrawal of current or denial of future certification or approval to participate in NCAA-certified events. ECAG has sole authority to determine when false or misleading information has been provided and assess the resulting penalty. Such decisions are final and not subject to appeal. If you have questions, visit our FAQ page or the basketball certification page on ncaa.org for the operator or coach registration document, as well as step-by-steps, forms, event information, and other helpful resources. The event operator or coach can also call or contact ECAG using the contact information available on the website.